Oh, okay. So I better probably ought to start with an introduction to my video here. So this is what are we? We're fall semester 2021, right? Wow, time flies when you're having fun. So this is the first week class. Just my welcome aboard. Show you where everything is and discuss stuff. Video. Um, uh, we only got 3 people showing up today. Wow, that is. How many students do I got? I don't know. I got a bunch. 7. Oh, sorry. That's my daughter's favorite. Anytime you ask my daughter a question, her first response is 7. Doesn't matter. Okay. So anyway, so welcome to my online class. This class here that I'm talking now is the ENGR 1030, which is MATLAB solving problems using tools such as MATLAB, and 1040 includes Excel. I have been associated with this class. Well, the first online class I helped with, I connected online with the students with a dial-up connection and Microsoft Messenger to communicate with the students because there was no online platform. Our first platform was Blackboard for keeping track of scores of the homework. I've been working for the community college since back in, I think, 97 or 98 is when I came on board, started working for Holly Moore. Started out grading her homework, and then we got into this online stuff. And then it got to where I was doing more of the online teaching than she was. And so instead of grading, they asked me to start teaching the online class, which was good because the semester after that, they got a new head of a new dean of the department, and he says we don't need graders no more, and they let all the graders go. So I'm still here, for better or worse. So if you have any questions throughout this, by all means, pop up. I like questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question unless I'm asking them because I don't know anything. Do I need this open? No, I don't need that. So first thing I want to do is just do a little tour around what's available to you guys in Canvas. You'll notice when you pop into the home page that the very top of the screen here are the last 3 announcements I make. Because we do not meet on a regular basis as a full class, this is the only way I can communicate with my students. A lot of students take these online classes because they just cannot fit the class into a regular schedule. I understand that. And that's why I hold this session every Thursday night. If we find that more students can attend at a different time during the week, I am more than happy to change to another day. It's just Thursdays at 8 is what it's been, and it's a good starting point. If people show up, I will record everything that we do that night and post a video. If I'm the only one here, I get enough talking to myself during the day. I can't see any sense in teaching myself something. Anyway, so for a lot of these weeks, I do have videos from previous semesters that if somebody doesn't show up, I can post those videos, and I'll show you one that's there that will be overwritten at the end of the day because I had people show up. So hi, welcome. But anyway, so my main form of communication with the students as a class is going to be through announcements. The latest announcement will be at the top of this list, and it shows the last 3 announcements. So please check into Canvas. You should have your Canvas set up that you receive notifications via email whenever announcements are made. It's kind of frustrating on my part to have a student come up to me after something is done saying, I didn't know, and I'm like, okay, I made an announcement. Well, I don't check in. I can't make you do it, but I can just urge you to. I mean, you're the one paying for this course. You're the one trying to learn this material. I think this class is very beneficial at the beginning of your career because it does have stuff that will help you through your other classes, especially when you get into finite element analysis. So like they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So I'm here to help you. Use me, abuse me, throw me out with yesterday's trash. I am good with it. I used to have a good therapist, but he Oh man. So anyway, so if we look here on the home page, scroll down a little bit, there's this little matrix of buttons. If you go to start here, it'll give you some of the basics in the course, the syllabus. I don't, I don't know if I updated these syllabi. They may be outdated. Oh no, it just takes you to the main syllabus page. This is the only syllabus that is. It does say 1030 at the top, but it also has 1040 information. So if you're in 1040, the only difference between 1030 and 1040 is after the second exam, 1040 will go on to Excel, while 1030 stays in MATLAB. Um, so if you're in 1030, you should not see any homework for Excel. You should only see MATLAB homework, and vice versa. The 1040 students will not see anything MATLAB related, including the final after exam 2. My 10, I'm guessing everybody here took the Am I in the Right Class quiz. If you're in 1040, you really want to make sure that you're supposed to be in 1040 because they've reduced that down to a requirement for a couple of obscure engineering disciplines. The civil engineers have their own. Oh, that's another note I need to make. I didn't send the student. Civil engineers have their own CEEN 2750 course that is geared for civil engineers. It has problems and content that is geared towards a civil engineer to help them learn more about it. Their field of study, just like electrical engineers have EE 1020. EE 1020 is very similar to this, only they have real world problems that they get to solve using MATLAB. So just if you're 1040, please make sure, because I'd hate for you to take this course and then find out it didn't apply to your grade or your degree. So the syllabus is here. We are using Holly Moore's 5th edition textbook. She is in the process of writing the 6th edition, but it's not ready for publication yet. Oops, that's the wrong one. Holly's is up here. I did talk to her today. Actually, I attended her class today and learned some really neat things, that changes that are coming through in SolidWorks. Okay, I'm going to do that because I teach SolidWorks as well. MATLAB. But we will not implement any of those changes in this course right now because we're still in the 5th edition, not the 6th. So here's the syllabi. We go back to the home page, go back to the start here. I do know that the schedule here is updated. This will download a Word document that has all of the due dates and homework assignments and everything for the entire semester. I put a lot of effort into this, so I hope somebody at least looks at it. Okay, I just copied last semester's and changed the dates on top. Oh, you're not supposed to tell them that? Close that. Okay, so getting help, and then this. I don't know if these are still. I probably ought to check these links here. There's a lot of links in here, and I try to get all of them when I set things up for the semester. So if you find something that doesn't work or doesn't belong there, please let me know, and I will change it. So the chapter modules, if you come in here, you can start at the very front, and it'll take you through the course page by page with reading, and then, when you get into the actual chapters of MATLAB, it'll take you through videos and PowerPoint presentations that describe MATLAB. Unfortunately, for the Excel portion of the course, there are no I can't remember if it's videos or PowerPoints that are missing. I should know that. I'm the teacher. Okay, there are no videos. So maybe I'll try to work on improving that. I'm not the only one who teaches this class. There's several of us who teach this, so it's a collaborative effort here. This one here is probably, if you don't have your textbook and you're waiting, the first 3 chapters of the textbook are right here. If you have an earlier edition of the textbook other than the 5th edition, all of the homework is here, and you are expected to do the homework from the 5th edition. I don't recommend anything earlier than the fourth edition. So, oh, hey, we lost somebody. Oh man, I'm so boring. They're leaving early. Anyway, so this will give you the homework in a PDF form. So use this to do your homework. However, just keep in mind that this homework is for the homework and not the practice exercises. The practice exercises are required. They count as 10 points per assignment. And the reason they only count 10 points instead of 100 is because if you go here to the homework assignments link, both at the top and the bottom, the original had it at the bottom, I added at the top, make it easier for the students to find. You will find the solutions to the practice exercises, and it comes to you in a PDF format. Okay, this is so that while you're doing the homework, if you get stuck, you can come in here and see what it is you were doing wrong in the practice exercises. But I would only use it for when you get stuck. Don't just rely on using that to do your homework for you. You don't learn if you just copy from the solutions. So because you have access to those, they are not graded for accuracy. I just go in and make sure that you did all the problems, and if they're done, I give you the full credit for the practice exercises. There's also links to the homework here. So if you want to go directly to the homework assignment, you can get to it through that link. And once I have entered a score for that homework assignment, you can come back here and find the solutions to it. Okay, I have access to everything, so I can get in there. But once you have a score, whether it be a 0 or 100, you will have access. And I highly recommend, if you struggled through a chapter, first off, contact me. I'll help you try to understand it. If you can't, then go back through and check the solutions and see where you were having issues, and maybe something will click and you'll say, oh yeah, well, yeah, okay, that makes sense now. And that's what that's here for.
Wait, sorry, quick question.
Okay, yes.
So practice exercises, I see on the left that there is everything chapter 3 through whatever.
Right.
Is there no practice exercises for chapter 2 that we turn in, even though there's solutions for them?
Let's see, let's go to the where is it, calendar. I don't think there was an assignment due in the chapter 2 practice exercises.
Okay, I didn't think I saw one.
Yeah, let's.
I was just like, wait, I was supposed to turn those in.
Yeah, no, the first practice exercise is chapter 3.
Chapter 3. Okay. Okay.
Cool.
And so I guess because throughout the book it says the solutions can be found on the Pearson website. So I made an account and then could not find them anywhere. But so they're just all sitting in the solutions page.
They're sitting right here. If you go to the home page, scroll down a little bit. It says homework assignments. Oh, it used to say and it says homework assignments, and it also says homework assignments. And practice. Oh, I tell you, some days you just shouldn't even get out of bed. Exercise solutions. Because I don't want to hide them. They do no good if they're hidden. So now you can see right there, the homework and practice exercise solutions. So
sweet.
I mean, when we first set, okay, I'm not going to finger who put this website together first, but when when somebody first set this up, it just said assignments. And so I tell people, well, click on the assignments, and at the bottom is the solutions. Well, they'd come over here and click on assignments, and they're like, okay, so where's the solutions? I don't see no solutions. And so that's why I renamed it. And so now it's even renamed More Gooder. And more Gooder is proper English in my class.
I noticed your announcement of I is here. So
I are an engine manure. I don't do English. Okay, So those two are really probably the two most important things up here. Y'all downloaded MATLAB for yourself, right? You get a free copy. You were aware of
Yes.
that? Okay, yeah. So that's there. There's a few extra credit opportunities. There used to be another one here, the Robotics Club. I don't know if they're running the Robotics Club this semester. They haven't the last three because of COVID. I'll find out whether that one is.
My math teacher said they are.
They are? Okay, I'll publish that back up so that you guys can have that extra credit. The unbeatable squirrel. You got to pay $1 for a thing off of, I don't know, I think Amazon or somewhere, and then just do a little write up on it. So that's an easy 10 points extra credit. There is also extra credit throughout the homework assignments. One problem here or there that's extra credit, and and I'm easy with the grading on the homework. I don't grade every single problem because that just takes too stinking long. But I've been doing this since Moby Dick was a guppy, and I know which problems the students struggle with. So those are the ones that I go to in the assignment when I'm doing the grading and see how well you did. And if you struggled, I'll post help comments in your MATLAB code and upload it back to you. Some students find that useful. Other students just completely ignore it. It don't hurt my feelings any. And then I guess one of the last things here is when we do these online sessions and I record them, I will process them, post them on my YouTube account, and then put a link in here to the videos. This is a very good. This here is by far my most popular video that I've ever done. I mean, it's only
This is the checkers game where grandson and granddad will bond.
Because I definitely did not tell it.
In this video, I will demonstrate how to download data files into MATLAB to be used.
So other people are using my video.
I will demonstrate the file types that are used.
I don't think it's cool that
for
YouTube's
the 1030 and 1040 course.
Dirty thieves.
So I tried to open it back up. I last night while I was working closed the current folder window on MATLAB.
Oh, you are so troubled. Yeah, you might as well just drop the class because you'll never get it open again. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. I think that's pretty much all. Like I say, I do put comments in your MATLAB code and upload it back to you. Check these things when I return them, especially when we get into the user-defined functions, because there is one function in that homework assignment that you will need in another assignment later on in the semester. And if the function isn't programmed properly, it won't work right when you get into that other assignment. Okay, so that's Canvas. Okay, so let's get into MATLAB. So this is MATLAB, and I think yeah, if you go into layout here, if you deselect the current folder, you can get it back.
That was easy.
Cool. So this is MATLAB. I'm not sure what the current version is. I'm probably behind one. I'm 2020A. I'll go in and see if I can get the most up to date. For this course, it doesn't matter what version you have. You can go back before they even started count. I think like 12A, 12B. Well, no, not really. I don't want you going back that far. Actually, no, I don't want you going back past 2019. Because when we do get into the user-defined functions, there's a very endearing aspect change that they made to this MATLAB that makes uploading or downloading your homework file from the user-defined functions. Prior to that version, each user-defined function had to be in its separate M file. So that means for that chapter, I was downloading anywhere, well, in the beginning days, it was like 28 files for each student. And you think, okay, that's no big deal. Yeah, but I was also teaching for 4 other professors, so I was downloading 28 files for like 150 students, and it just takes forever. But in the 2019, I think it was 2019 version of MATLAB, they've made it so that you can put all of those files at the bottom of your M file. And so you only have one file to submit. And they also did the live editor sometime in that period, and they actually set it up for the functions in the file when it was with live editor, and then they fixed the live editor where it was working great, and then moved it all over into the M file as well. So this is MATLAB. It should look like yours somewhat. You can, grab these windows out, move them around wherever you want. I have mine set up for my convenience for grading. To me, I like to have the code in here so I can see it, and the output to the command window over here. A lot of students like the command window down here. You can, like say, just grab these and move them around wherever you want. I'm not, because sometimes it's real hard to get them back where I want them. So, go ahead and set up your MATLAB. It doesn't affect how it works in my setup. Again, any earlier version, the code we write will work in my MATLAB. So, don't go out of your way to spend a lot of money on MATLAB. But then, nowadays we give you free copies. So in the early days, the students had to pay $100 for a student version. But that's where SolidWorks is headed now. Oh, sorry, this isn't SolidWorks. Right, you guys are MATLAB. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I got my SolidWorks students coming in 27 minutes if anybody shows up. So anyway, when you get into MATLAB, there's a few things. One, to start a new, you can do your work in the command window. You just come in here, say R equals 9, so now R equals 9. So anytime you push R, you get a 9. You could do all of your homework in the command window. You could. And then you'll get a nasty note from the grader, because the grader does not like work in the command window, because I can't run. Oh, sorry, the grader can't run. Okay, it's me. I can't run your code if it's done in the command window, because this is what I get. I get all of this. And this part right here doesn't run. It just gives me an error. So where you need to do your work is in a script file, whether it be an M file. And an M file is, let's see, okay, we'll get to that second. The file ends with a .m, and then there's also, I definitely don't have an updated, because Holly had 2 buttons here where you could push either script file or live editor. Or there's a live script file. Now, the difference between the two, the programming is 100% identical. You'll use the same code, the same syntax, the same everything. Only thing is if we do code over here, R raised to the 2. Somebody stole my times pi. I highly recommend too that you start any new problem with the clear command. And if you want to clear the command window, a CLC, this clears the command window, this clears your workspace. You see, I got R here. So if I highlight this code, right mouse click and do evaluate selection, it cleared that out. And then if we do that over here, it clears that out. So when this one, I really, 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 really recommend you do that for any problem that does not rely on the data from the problem before it. The reason being is you could define R right here in problem number 1 and then get down to problem number 27 without clearing your variables, and you'll define what you're thinking is R, but it's a different variable, and your code won't work. It's right, it just won't work because R was defined in a different problem with different properties, and it just, to avoid that, start every problem with a clear. The clear command window is totally up to you. I don't care if you use it or not. However, if you do use it, I do require that you use it at the beginning of the problem. Okay, so let's execute this code to get some stuff in the command window. If you do it at the beginning of the problem, okay, I see the results. if you do it at the end of the problem, which some students do, I don't see nothing, because it runs your code and then it clears it. I can't grade what I can't see. So if you want to use this, that's fine. Just please put it at the beginning of your problems, not at the end. Okay, so where do we go from here? Okay, so the current folder. Okay, the current folder is very important, especially when we're uploading data into MATLAB. If you choose to do your user-defined functions as they are described in the book and in Holly's videos, the 5th edition was prior to the being able to put everything into one file, so it states that they need to be saved as separate M files. In order for MATLAB to find them, they have to be in your current folder. So to change your current folder, it's just, can you guys see these little tiny icons up here?
Yeah.
So if you click on the browse for folder, it's just like any other PC. You just browse to wherever your folder is that you want to set as your current folder, select that folder, and now this is where everything you save will be located. And you'll see here that these here, the little FX, I don't know if you can see that finally or not. This is a function. Well, it says right there, function. These are MLX are the live editor. Oh, and we'll get to that here in a second too. There's so much to cover and so little time. But anyway, make sure that your current folder is set up for, the degrees. If you're going to load in data files, they need to be in your current folder. You can, more advanced programmers in MATLAB can specify a path to a different folder on your computer where you store all this stuff. That's fine and dandy for doing your own stuff, but if you do it in the homework and then submit it and then I try to run it, it's not going to be able to find that folder that's on your computer. It'll look through my computer trying to find it and it won't find it and it won't run. And then again, you've angered the grader dude. Okay, so an M file here, again, like say, the display is over here in the command window. We can take this very exact same code. We'll just do a copy and paste it over here in the live editor. We'll clear this out. You won't see these buttons in yours. These are some shortcuts that I made for mine for making grading easier. So this is empty. The workspace is empty. And now if we run this code, the results come inside of the LiveScript file rather than the command window. That is the biggest difference between the two of them. The only time I've ever seen output from a live editor show up in the command window is when you do an input, trying to get input from the user. Then that will come over here until the user inputs the data. And then it'll go back into the live editor. Everything comes in here, is displayed in here. The simple calculations like this, if you do a plot, they're done in here. If you do a table, they're displayed in here. You can change the setting on this if you want the output over on the right, or you can change it to where the output is underneath the commands, or you can just hide all the code and see only the output. I personally like it underneath. It's a lot easier for me to see. If you want to do your homework in a live editor, that is okie dokie fine with me. The exams will be given to you in live editor format, because the thing with live editor is I can go through the exam and execute each one of the problems in the exam, and then when I return it back to you, you will see exactly what I seen while I was grading it. So there's no questions about the output from your code. If you do the, he said do. If you do the exams, or well, just the exams, I can convert it to a live editor simply by right mouse clicking on the title. And don't make a liar out of me. Maybe it won't do it because it hasn't been saved. I'm going to save this. Call it a ye. Oh yeah, so now you can come in here and open it as a live editor, and it converts it. And verse vicely, If you want to save this live editor as an M file, you just come up here to do a save as, and then the file type, you come down here to an M file. And so now it's an M file. Again, I have no preference in your homework which one you use. If you're gonna, it might be well advised to use the live editor so you're ready for the exam when it comes up. It won't be a surprise to you. And you might find you like this better. I guess I could demonstrate a few things about live editor. I really need to get the new. Anyway, you got the section break, you got code, and you got text. So if you want to have a comment or a text, you can just do the text, and it comes out as comments. And then you want to go back to code, then you do there it is. Now you can do code. And if you want to make a cell, you hit a section break. What's a cell? I'll explain cells in just a minute. Oh, yeah, see, was it on cells on here? I have an Excel file up here to remind me of what I'm supposed to cover tonight, and I've got to hurry. We got 15 minutes. Well, I don't know. We may have more than that. I'll stay here as long as you guys want to stick around. So I have no life. I'm married with children. Okay, so let's go back into an M file. How do we execute the code in an M file? That's a very good question. I am so glad you asked it. There are several ways to execute this code. First off, you can highlight all of it, right mouse click, and do evaluate. Okay. Another thing you can do is highlight this code and hit F9. You can see the F9. I won't do that because when I do, it affects the recording I'm doing right now through Camtasia. It pauses it, and I did it once and didn't realize it, and that's all I got was that recorded up to that point. But you can hit F9 and it'll execute whatever is highlighted. Okay, you have these buttons up here. Run. What run does, I really recommend that you do this at the very last before you save to submit. This will save the entire file and then run the entire file. That'll show you that any errors that are going to pop up that I'm going to find when I do the grading. But most importantly, it saves it. If you just want to run this section or this cell, okay, right now we only have the one cell, you hit the run section and it will execute what's in there. So we can do that, clear that out, run section, and so it ran the whole file. If we had multiple cells, this advance would run this cell and then advance to the next cell. I've never used this running time. I'm guessing it will just run it and tell you how long it took to run. Eep. Oh, I don't, yeah, see, it took 0.01 seconds. Okay, so let's talk about cells. Cells in the M file is simply 2% signs followed by a space. And then if you want to put a comment, you can put a comment. Okay, you notice this turned yellow with a green bar up here. That's to tell you that you are in cell number 2. This is cell number 1. This is cell number 2. And we can so now if we come up here, hit the run section, we can hit this over and over and over, and it's clearing, but it's just running that same code. Now if we hit the run in advance, you notice that it dropped down to the next cell. And now we run that, and why aren't you running? There we go. T equals 27 or 87. So this is how I do the homework grading. I'll just come in here and actually there are other shortcuts if you don't want to use this. If you do a Control Shift Enter, will do the execute in advance, and just a Control Enter will execute. So if you just want to run that cell real quick to see that you're doing right, just hit a Control Enter and it will execute what's in that cell. It doesn't execute this, just what's up here. Any questions on that?
Would you want us to separate out our problems into cells?
This
while we're doing our homework?
It would be wonderful if you did, but it's not really required. But I do require you at least label your problems Okay, because so let's say that you have, and one issue that a lot of students have is they don't put the space in there. Without the space, that's just a comment. So the space between the second parenthesis and the first character tells it that this is a new cell. But let's say that you have this, and you come down here and you did without making the space, and you did problem 3. Well, I've been doing this for so long that I found shortcuts, and we'll even come up here and do a problem 1. I learned really quickly if I just do a Control F and I look for that. Obviously, you can see I use it because that was the first thing that popped up. I find the parenthesis without a space and add a space and replace all. Boom! Now I've got 3 cells. And if you don't do this, if you only do one and make them comments rather than a double commented parenthesis sign, I can still do the same thing. I just look for what I got a space in there, that, and replace all. So I can very easily turn a non-celled homework file into a celled one, at least in the M file. I don't know that I can do that in here, but it's not that hard to just find them and insert a section break. Okay, so output. You notice everything I typed over here is coming into the command window. Well, let's say we don't want to see this. We just want to see the final calculation. You can suppress the output to the command window by simply putting a semicolon at the end of the text. And now when we run that, that's all we get is the final calculation. Okay, that's cool, especially if you got, something that has a lot of rows in it, matrix, like that pipeline anomalies that, let's see, do I have the pipeline in here? Yeah, right there, pipelines 1.txt. So if we come down here and we do a load, what is that? I don't know if that'll do that with the spaces in there. I guess we'll find. Now let's change it because it doesn't like spaces in file names. We'll do some underscores. And I think that was a problem on the exam too, is that I provided them the file with the spaces in it. Pipeline anomalies 1, and I think that was a dot text. Yeah, dot text.
You're missing an A.
Anomalies. There it is. Okay, so you kumquat here. This is the easiest way to get it right. Control C. There we go. What? I just copied. Don't do that to me. I'm the teacher. You do as I'm told. I mean, is there a pipeline.dat? Oh, here we go. Well, let's see. Maybe I was able to. I can't believe that it would do it with spaces in there. Oh man, that's. The good thing about recording this is I can edit out all this stuff that doesn't work, and you guys will be the only ones that knows. And if anybody comes up that wasn't here tonight, I fail all 3 of you. Oh, you're the only one left.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I guess he left. All right.
What the freak's going on? Why can't I know I can. Oh, because that's. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. That was the Excel file. That's why I couldn't. Oh, I know what file it is I'm looking for, not the anomalies. It's defects. Do I have the defects file in here? Sort by name. I don't have the defects file. Yeah, so that was a problem, was that the pipeline anomalies has a lot of text in there, and I can't do that with text. So, okay, well, I don't even remember where I was going. Oh, just, okay, so, but if you, I'm going to continue on because you saved everybody here, Jared, so they all owe you because I'll finish off this and record it and post it. But you see these little orange lines over here? If you hover your mouse over the top of it, it'll say terminate statement with semicolon to suppress the output. Okay, yeah, you can do that. However, it ires the grading beast because now if everything is suppressed,
you can't see it.
There's nothing to see. So, I'm okay with you suppressing all of the definition code, where you're defining variables. But please, 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 the final calculation, let it go to the command window so I can see it. So if you see this, just ignore it. I need to see the output, because if you don't, then I have to take the time, because I can't do the find all semicolons and delete, because I tried that and it just created a huge nightmare. So I have to literally go through each problem and delete the semicolon at the end of all the calculations so I can see, because I know whether the problem is done right or wrong based on the calculated value. Like I say, I've been doing this for 100 years. I may not remember if I shampooed my hair this morning in the shower, but I do know what the answers are supposed to be on all of these problems. So please don't suppress the output on all of the lines.
Yeah. Will you run through the quick key commands really quick? You said Control Shift Enter.
Control Shift Enter will execute this code and advance the control down to the next cell. See, so that's what I'll do is I'll start out here at the top and I'll just go down through each cell until I broke it here, or until I get to the end of the file. So, but if you just do a Control Enter, it'll execute that code and stay there. Right, and you can say, oh, dang, that's not right. So you'll do it, hit Shift Enter, and obviously it won't run that. But, you can sit there and make edits and without having to change the cell that you're in. And you can, if you forget those, if you just come up here to, actually, if you right mouse click, right here, right here, evaluate current selection is Control Enter. The Shift one's not there.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's just Control Shift Enter and Control Enter. Let's see. Valid file names. If you want to say, you need to, when you save your homework, use a valid file name. And a valid file name is the same criteria as a valid variable name. It must begin with a letter, and it can have only letters, numbers, and the underscore. The reason being is because I can come over here. Let's see, I got a demo 2, and I can just write in here demo 2, which is this file right here, and it will go in there and execute that file. But if it's not a valid file name, it can't do that. It'll just pop up an error says not found. So,
and so does the assignment tell you what to label those files?
No, I don't care what you name them, but a lot of students will put assignment number, using the Octothorpe 1, and it won't run because of the Octothorpe, hashtag is not there. You did know that the actual clinical name for that is Octothorpe, right?
I did.
Okay, not many people do know that.
Yeah. When I grew up, it was a pound sign.
Yeah, well, true. Yeah, me too. We're showing our age here, Jared. So make sure you use valid file names. We did create element operator. MATLAB works off of matrices. That's what the mat part is in MATLAB, is matrices. So it does things in matrix form. So if we create a vector here, and I'm just going to do a simple one from 1 to 10, and we'll create another cell here so that we're only executing the code we want here, and we'll do a clear and clear the command window. Now if we execute that, we have a vector from 1 to 10. Now let's say we want to square each element in here and assign it to a variable p. Okay, so you would think you could just take t and square it, right? Wrong, because this is matrices. You have to have the proper size of matrix in order to square it. And a 1 by 10 is not the proper size for squaring. So in order to go into MATLAB and tell it to square 1, square 2, square 3, you put an element operator, which is a period. Mm-hmm. And that tells MATLAB to go in and square each and every individual element of that vector and assign it to the p. Yep. So you need to do this on anything that is raised to a power. Well, not anything, any vector or matrix that is raised to a power. If you're multiplying two vectors or matrices together that are the same size, they need to have the element operator. And if you're dividing by a matrix, it is the same as dividing by 0. It just, make a freaking liar out of me. It doesn't happen. Okay, this isn't what we wanted. It shouldn't have done that. But you can't divide by a matrix. It's just impossible. It's the same as dividing by 0. So in order to do that division, you have to have the element operator, and then you can divide by a matrix.
Okay.
So what files need to be turned in? When we get into the chapters on importing or updating, come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. When we get into the chapter on uploading data files into MATLAB and saving data files to your current folder, if you stick to the naming nomenclature that is in the assignment, I don't need any data files. But if you decide to change the names of the files, and all the data files are available in MATLAB, if you change it, I need a copy of your changed data file because I won't have it. So those would need to be turned in. If you're doing M files, I need the file that is a .m. If you're doing live editor, I need the files that are .mlx. Yeah. And then somebody's eventually going to say, well, what is this .asv file? Here's a .asv for the Yeep. Okay, Yeep is the program we're working in. What a .asv file is, and I'm going to keep this open because if I close it, it may go away, is MATLAB has in its background an automatic backup feature, and it saves your work, not randomly, but periodically, and it saves it to that file called yeep.asv. Now you keep working along, and all of a sudden something goes kablooey, and you lose that file. Something made it go corrupt. If you go to that yeep.asv and change it to an M file, I'm going to have to put a change on the name here too because I got the Yeep in there. You now have everything that was there the last time MATLAB did a backup.
That's nice.
Okay, I don't need your backup file, but just so y'all know why it's there, and that's what it is. And I have used it. I didn't get all my work back, but I got a lot of it back, and not having to go through a lot of work is better than semicolons. Okay, I guess the last thing to cover is the exams. I didn't cover this when we were going over Canvas. The exams, there will be 3 exams in this course. 1030 will have 3 exams that are based solely on MATLAB. 1040, the first 2 exams will be the same 2 exams that 1030 take in MATLAB. Their final will be solely on Excel. There will be no MATLAB on the final for the 1040 course. They will be held in the testing center, assuming I get it scheduled, and I'm writing a note to do that now. The testing center, we had, I was very fortunate during the summer. The testing center was trying to train new personnel, and they contacted me prior to the start of the semester and asked me if I would be willing to be a beta tester for them. And I couldn't agree soon enough. I replied, please, please, please. Oh, yes, please, please, please. I did not like Proctorio. A lot of my students didn't like Proctorio. So you will be taking the test in the testing center. There are several options. There's South City, there's Taylorsville, and I think there's a couple other testing centers that you can take it at whichever one is convenient to do. You will have 2 hours to take each of these exams once you have access to the exam in MATLAB and or Excel. It will be open book. For MATLAB, the testing center will give you an electronic version of the textbook because in the early days we allowed students to just bring in their textbook, but we had a few students that took and every single available space in their textbook they wrote notes. And so we just, okay, fine, we'll give you an electronic copy. The testing center has a copy of it, and they'll give it to you to use during the exam. No notes, no old homework, no Google, no telephones, no psychic abilities. You can use the help features at MATLAB. I'm sure they taught you this. That's all you have to do is type in help and then the plot or the function that you want help, and it will give you this. You're welcome to use that, and if you need more than that, you can go for documentation on plot, which will open up another window, which will give you even more. You are more than welcome to use that during the exam. I will set it up so that you can take in a non-graphing calculator. I've had students request that in the past. I don't know why you would need that when you've got a calculator right here. 6 plus, let's see, that'll, because you want to hit plus, you idiot. You got a calculator. I don't know why they wanted it, but they wanted it. And also scratch paper. I will allow scratch paper that will be collected up by the testing center afterwards and shredded.
I guess for those I've never been into their testing centers, right? So it's a room full of computers, and you use their computer.
That is correct. It has limited access to the internet. It has you'll have that's another good thing that I need to bring up too, is that for MATLAB, you will be using MATLAB on All Access. Get into All Access prior to going to take the exam so that you are familiar with it, so that you don't waste half your time trying to figure out where everything is in that and All Access, and you know how to save your files and do all that other good stuff.
Where is All Access? Is that something you activate within the software?
No, you've never been onto All Access?
No.
Okay, so I will show you where All Access is because I'm just that kind of a person. Let me open up here. We come down here. If you type in allaccess.slcc.edu, and it'll bring you to this, you just use your My Page information, username and password, and it will bring you into All Access. And it wants you to send you a push. You may have to set up with the dual authentication. I don't know if they've got that on the students or just the instructors. But it's really annoying when I'm down in the basement trying to help a student and my phone's upstairs in the bedroom and I can't get into something because I can't get the dual access. So anyway, this is All Access. It's basically a remote access to the software that SLCC has available for their students. You can pick desktops here, CAD desktop, the SLCC, here's the MATLAB desktop. If you click this one, it'll bring you into a desktop, a virtual desktop at the community college that has MATLAB on it. and you can do that. Use that. You can actually use this for your homework if you want. I don't know why you'd want to when we're giving you a free copy of MATLAB. I've had in the first beginning days of this, we had a lot of issues with MATLAB crashing on students while they're doing homework. I know the first exam during the summer, we had some serious issues with All Access shutting down after 15 minutes of the students doing the exam. And when you're taking a 2-hour exam, there's a lot of 15-minute intervals in there. And so it was a nightmare. And we found out that MATLAB or All Access was set to time out after 15 minutes. They fixed that. They increased the bandwidth between the testing center and All Access, and Exam 2 and the finals, they were smooth. No issues whatsoever. So here's MATLAB. This is 2020B, so it's probably, obviously I am out of date because I'm 2020A, and this is 2021, so there's probably even a 2021 version I need to go update.
Correct. That was the newest one is 2021A.
Yeah. Well, see, even this one's different because see, here's a new script and a new live script where if you look at my MATLAB, I just have a new button.
Yep.
So I'm way behind. So I after this is over tonight, I will go in and update me to the latest and greatest.
Okay.
Let's see. Anything else that I have to add? We're 7 minutes, but nobody from my SolidWorks classes showed up. So if you got more questions, comments, wants, needs, desires, concerns, complaints. A lot of this I'm just bringing up. I realize you're the only one here, but I'm going to record this or process this and post it. One very, very, very important. It's just basically a fundamental of being a good student. I was a student once. Believe it or not, I was. I didn't come by all this knowledge just because I'm ultra smart. I understand the impact that being a student has on your life. Nobody knows better than me. When I first transferred up to the University of Utah in, I guess it was the spring semester of 2001, my first semester there, I had 4 labs with my courses. It was an intense semester. And midway through that semester, my wife gave birth 8 weeks early to my twins, who spent 6 weeks in the NICU. And trying to balance life with twins in the NICU and 4 labs, full schedule at the University of Utah was a nightmare. But I went and talked to my professors. I says, look, this is what's going on in my life. Is there anything we can do? And they worked with me. And I am more than willing to work with students if there are issues in your life that are preventing you from doing your work or, causing but please, I got to know while it's happening. I got one student I'm dealing with right now who failed last semester, who is now saying, hey, look, I need you to change my grade to a passing grade because I'm going to get dropped out of the engineering program. I didn't fail you. You failed me by not coming and asking for help. Okay, so if you run into these things, please come talk to me. I'm here. I am probably your biggest asset. Okay, there is an ET on the end of that for this course. I am available to you until at least midnight every night. I don't go to bed until after midnight. It's not because I want to, it's just I don't sleep well. So if you have problems at 11 o'clock at night, send me a message in Canvas and I'll come downstairs and get online and help you with your homework. There's nothing more heartbreaking than to see an assignment turned in that's only half done with a note saying, I didn't know how to do this. Well, your first problem was you didn't contact me to help you. I'm here. I want to help you. I get paid to help you. I enjoy helping the students. I also highly recommend you get into some study groups. Some of my most successful students are ones who got with other students in the class and worked together. I highly encourage working together, but you must each do your own work. Don't divvy up the homework. Okay, you do the first 3 problems, you do the last 3 problems, and we'll combine it. No, you can't do that. But you can bounce ideas off each other. You can talk about the struggles and the problems that you're having, and somebody's going to come up and say, well, maybe if we do this. Working in groups is great. It's something that you're going to have to get used to, because when you get out into the actual world of engineering, you're not going to be on your own. You're going to be set with a group of engineers, and you're going to brainstorm and come up with solutions to your problems. The discussion boards on Canvas, in Canvas, use them. That's what they're there for. If you have questions, or if you come across something that you think the other students might be interested in knowing, post it in the discussion boards. I'm probably the worst instructor about having assignments in the discussion boards, and I don't know, maybe I should start doing it. But this is an asset to you guys. You use it, abuse it, the way you can abuse it. Just use it. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. Questions, comments, wants, needs, desires, concerns? We've been 1 hour and 37 seconds now.
Nope, I'm good. I'm gonna just work through the problems.
Okay.
It's quite a pile, but I've got the weekend to do it. So.
Yeah, I live in a pile, so. I have 3 cats and a dog in this house. All right, Jared.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, if you got questions, by all means, send me a message, and I'm more than happy to help.
Thank you.
All right, I'll talk.